Welcome to the WHHI-TV Daily News. I'm Betsy McDaniel. As always, there's a lot to cover in the Low Country today, so let's get started with our headlines. There's not a new sheriff in town, but there is a new judge on the bench for the next Alec Murdaugh trials. The former Chief Justice of the state Supreme Court, 80-year-old Jean Toll, who, although semi-retired, has still been presiding over a few cases, will replace retiring Judge Clifton Newman. Toll will oversee the complex appeal process for Murdaugh. She will also preside over the allegations of jury tampering against Colleton County Court Clerk Rebecca Hill and motions involving Murdaugh's efforts to get a new trial. Toll was the first female justice on the state Supreme Court. Still having some anxiety over what to get a friend, coworker, or even a neighboring family for Christmas? The really easy and maybe most true to the season gift now would be to write a check to one of the many groups that are helping our less fortunate families get through the holiday season. Most of the charitable organizations report that the need for food, clothing, rental assistance, and utility payments have doubled since last Christmas, despite all the prosperity in the Low Country. The Deepwell Project, Bluffton Self-Help, the Church of Christ Food Pantry, the Low Country Food Bank, Second Helpings, and others will gladly take food donations, but they're very efficient at purchasing their own, so a check would also be very warmly welcomed. As we shared with you last week, Phil Cromer has become the new mayor of Beaufort and has now been officially sworn in. Cromer won the special election by a 2-to-1 margin earlier this month, but that was only for the final 11 months of departed Mayor Stephen Murray's term. So he might want to keep those yard signs handy, as Cromer says he does plan to run for re-election for his own 4-year term next November. If there's one thing most of us in the Low Country can agree to complain about, it's the noise from landscapers, whether it's our neighbors or the many companies that do it for a living. One of the biggest of those companies, The Greenery, is now trying to go green with a new fleet of battery-powered lawn equipment and even autonomous robotic mowers that are far quieter, more environmentally friendly, and now financially viable with longer-running, quicker-charging batteries. Greenery CEO Lee Edwards says he's hoping his company can be all electric in 1 or 2 years. Members of Hilton Head's town staff witnessed the Greenery's demonstration and are exploring whether it could work for the town's landscaping needs down the road. Bob Stevens has more on this a little bit later in the broadcast. And are you into giving or receiving holiday candy? Candy corn, candy canes, Cadbury eggs, that kind of thing? Well, according to candysellercandystore.com, the most popular Christmas candy in South Carolina are the tried and true M&Ms, though they don't specify plain or peanut. Peppermint bark and Pez candies rank as the second and third most popular in the state. In a separate survey, the website says candy corn that's colored green, red, and white and called reindeer corn is the worst holiday candy in the country. Christmas nougat and chocolate-covered cherries are second and third worst. Nothing in there about fruitcakes. The media sources on your screen will have more on these and other stories, and we would love for you to like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram at WHHI-TV. And if you have an idea for a news story, we'd love to hear it, so drop us a line at news@WHHITV.com. And now here's Justin Jarrett with what happened last night in the Lowco.
Hey, it's time for Last Night in the Lowco on WHHI, powered by LowcoSports.com. It was a light slate of high school basketball games in the Lowco on Tuesday as we wind down before a flurry of holiday tournaments. But what we lacked in quantity, we made up for in quality, thanks to a heart-attack-inducing game from the Battery Creek boys. Our friends from Beaufort's own have covered some Donnybrooks in the early going this season, and they had another one on tap last night in the Palace, where the Dolphins rallied from a 15-point deficit, then hit buzzer beaters at the end of regulation and both overtime periods, including a last-second putback from Ethan Cox that lifted Battery Creek to a thrilling 67-65 win. It's the Dolphins' second straight win in double OT after outlasting rival Whale Branch last week, and Battery Creek has won 3 of its last 4 to improve to 6-3 after winning just 5 games over the past 2 seasons combined. It looks like the Dolphins will be one of several area teams who have new region rivals next school year when the South Carolina High School League's biannual realignment takes effect in combination with the 3x multiplier for out-of-zone students that was approved last month. Schools will have a chance to appeal, but the proposed breakdown of classifications that was released Tuesday calls for Beaufort High to move back to Class 4A, along with May River, Bluffton, Colleton County, and Hilton Head High, while Bridges Prep would be bumped up 2 classes to join Battery Creek in 3A. Whale Branch would jump up and join Hampton County in 2A, and the newly split programs at Ridgeland and Hardyville would become natural rivals in Class 1A. We only have a few contests on tap tonight, but we'll be talking high school wrestling with a side of mixed martial arts on the Lowco Grind, presented by Reverence Wrestling Club, live at 10 p.m. tonight on the Lowco Media Network on YouTube. For Lowco Sports and WHHI, I'm Justin Jarrett. Until next time, go Lowco.
Thanks, Justin. Let's get a look at our weekend weather with Maria.
Thanks, Betsy. Yep, so taking a look ahead, we are going to have a couple more days of this colder weather, but then the temperature should be getting back up into the 60s in time for the weekend. So taking a look at Thursday, it's going to be sunny but still chilly, with Hillnet having a high of 55, a low of 38. Bluffton's going to have a high of 56, a low of 35, and Beaufort's going to have a high of 56 and a low of 35. The sunrise for Thursday is going to be at 7:20 and sunset's going to be at 5:22. Looking at the beach tides, low tide's going to be 11:24 a.m. and high tide's going to be at 4:22 p.m. Taking a look into the rest of the week and into the weekend, Friday it's going to be sunny with highs in the 60s, lows in the 40s. Then come Saturday, it's going to be sunny to partly cloudy with the highs getting up into the mid-60s and lows going to be in the 50s and 40s. And then come Sunday, it's again going to be sunny to partly cloudy with highs in the 60s and lows in the 50s and 40s. That's it for today. Let's head it back to the desk.
Thanks, Maria. We'll be back in just a moment with a lot more, so stay with us.